Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. So today we are flying out again the MiG-29. Guys, you know that I love this aircraft, but today we're not using the R27ER. So we are trying to actually fly it with just the normal R27R and an R27T, and to see if basically if the ER is needed. I have the impression that it is not, but after playing a while, I think it depends, man. It's complicated. There is some factors that we need to actually just talk a little bit about it. First things first is, yes, the ER does increase a lot of the capabilities of the MiG-29. It is a missile that has a little bit more energy, a lot more energy actually. Has even more energy than the M7s, and the only missile that actually has barely a little bit more energy than the R27ER is the Phoenix, but the Phoenix doesn't turn 30 Gs, right? But that's the thing, that's the main thing, right? It does increase the capabilities of this aircraft. Another thing that you have to consider is that the radar of the MiG-29, the maps, you can say that about the maps as well, they kinda don't, like, how do I say this? You kinda cannot fully utilize the ER in these maps and together with this radar. Remember, the R27R was actually made to be used in the MiG-29 due to the way that everything was with the aircraft, the size of the aircraft, the weight, and the radar especially. And the ER was made to actually be used with the Sukhoi 27, a larger aircraft, being able to actually carry more weight, and also with a bigger radar that can fully utilize the range on the ER. So the MiG-29 is already an aircraft that doesn't actually is able to use fully the R27ER. It's a thing that it doesn't matter how you look into it, it does matter. It does change the way that everything is. But even saying that, even with the smaller maps and stuff, you can feel the short legs of the R27R. You do feel that. I don't know, I mean, they were, if you don't know, they were actually buffed last week. They got a better coefficient of drag, so they are basically producing like around 10% less drag, but the range of it is still kind of the same, and the energy of it especially is still kind of the same. Remember, this is actually a missile that it is better than the M7s on the turning capabilities. This is one of the best ones in the game actually. It turns 30 Gs. But with the short energy of it, you are kind of limited in a sense that if you actually fire the missile and actually the target actually turns, it will try to maintain it, and it is a missile that can maintain with any target that is trying to turn, but it will lose a lot of energy. So it doesn't have that extra little bit of energy that the ER has that actually kind of makes it a little bit safer in certain situations. It is already added to the game. I don't think it changes that much, right? So I think we should continue to have the ER, but it's not like the MiG-29 is bad without it. It is just short-legged. You really does feel like that. I don't know if it's me just trying to use the R27Ts, and even the R60Ms, they're pretty bad right now. All the IR missiles are pretty... they're almost useless, man. You do tend to lose a lot of targets just due to the way that everything is with the flares and the heat signature. You do need to use the radar missiles if you want to confirm, at least with the BVR missiles, the kill. It is a little bit easier to get radar kills right now than IR kills. But even with that, I mean, just for the cause of having more energy, it would be already a very big improvement, right? And together with these other factor, with the IR missiles being a little bit useless right now, as you're going to see in this battle in particular, I kill a lot of people with cannons, and with the missiles I barely do anything. So yeah, it's been like this for the duration of this new update on the heat signature that they changed it. So these two factors, the fact that the missiles, IR missiles, are a little bit nerfed. I wouldn't say nerfed, but they are they feel nerfed, right? Together with the extra range of the ER, it is, I think, indeed needed, especially because MiG-29 is limited on the number of missiles. You only can use 2 of them. So to be a little bit more comparable to the F-16, even though the MiG-29's radar is better than the F-16 ones, it is still the same amount of missiles. And the Sparrow, I don't know, I feel like the R27ER should have a little bit more range, but I don't know, it's just a gut feeling flying in DCS. I cannot know for sure if it should be a little bit better or not. It just feels like it should. But the IM-7 has a lot more range, which means that in the BVR department, we are already with the back foot. We don't have interceptors for the Soviet Union. We don't have the big fighters or anything like that. We only have light fighters for the Soviet Union right now and attackers. So yeah, we don't have an equivalent for the F-14. Once the F-15 comes, if we don't receive the Sukhoi, it is going to be another problem, but I guess they will add the Su-27. But if with the F-16, and a lot of nations have the F-16, we are kind of limited on that aspect of BVR, right? So having the ER, even though it is not that needed, I do think that it does help a lot the aircraft, and I do think that it should continue to have the R27ER. That's my final thought on it. I do think that we are going to get, I mean, this is just a matter of time, we are going to get to more advanced IR missiles. And once we get that, I think the IRCCMs and 80s basically technology will help a lot this aircraft to actually get a lot more kills with the IR missiles. But even with that, the radar missiles will always be a factor, especially for the light fighters of the Soviet Union. So I do think it's needed. I do think that it was a good addition. Remember, these missiles, even though a lot of people don't know about these missiles, but they were actually developed together with the normal Rs. They have some weird dates and stuff, but in general, they were developed together. It is basically the same missile. So it's not something like giving a different missile altogether for an aircraft just to balance it out. It is the same missile with a different engine. So it's not even something that completely out of the ordinary. I do think that it is superior to the Sparrows, but I mean, there are so many Sparrows, there are so many F-14s, there are so many aircraft that the US and other NATO nations will get it and have it, that, I mean, it's just one aircraft that for now we will receive the R27ER. Remember, the MiG-29 for Germany probably won't get the ER, man. They probably are not going to even get the T variant of the R27. So it is the only aircraft that you will see with a superior missile like that. So it's not even a big deal, I think, right? So I don't think it's completely OP. It is an amazing aircraft. It is my favorite aircraft of all time, but and in the game. But still, it's something that you really need to just consider, because a lot of the nations in the other spectral things have a lot of good aircraft as well. They need to be countered, right? But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about the ER, it's needed or not. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.